Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. Season 40, War number 5. Today we're taking on FNG, Furious Gods, and folks, I have 9 fights this war. Lucky for me though, the Thunderbolt Kill Squad back in action, old and busted, Absorbin time, new hotness, it's Scorpin time you guys. Let's go. So first off, we're going to be on path 8 here. Node 17, Rich Get Richer, Personal Space, Mystic War. We have a Man-Thing to deal with. I'm going to pop on the Shock pre-fight so that we can get the Poison immunity, which is really important when you're fighting Man-Thing. And then, you know, it's pretty much a nothing burger fight after that. We're just going to make sure not to stay close to him for too long at the start of the fight because we don't want to give him so many Furies that he starts getting those like passive Furies. So the neutralizes from Scorpion being a tactic attacker are going to aid us in preventing those personal space Furies and his natural Furies and regen when he gets low enough. And then, of course, our special attacks are going to apply that Fate Seal. So just, you know, an added layer of protection against all the buffs that Man-Thing could possibly get in this fight. You can see he's going down pretty quickly. We're doing about like 38 to 40k in sting damage per special attack. And this one kills him, and we finish with a full yellow bar. Moving on, we have a Scorpion on Node 21 with Hazard Shift. We're going to use Agent Venom here. Of course, not immune to the Incinerates or the Poisons. We're just going to rely on our natural tenacity to shrug them off. You saw me pop on a Combat Regen boost. That's just to cover a bit of my health in case we don't shrug off enough of the debuffs and the damage starts getting a little bit gnarly. But, you know, this is going to be a very fast fight. You can see once we launch the special one here, the Bleeds and the Incinerates are doing a combined 10,000 damage per second, so, and he goes down shortly after that. So we lose about a quarter of our health, you know, but worth it for a very quick fight. Okay, up in Section 2, we have an APOC on Node 25. We're going to pop an advanced power boost here. The plan is at the start of the fight, we're going to go in with 2 medium-medium combos. Hopefully we get at least 1 neutralize up there to keep the flourish buffs in check, and then he'll be taunted and fate sealed after that. You also see we have the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights. This actually does help us a little bit because Scorpion will heal from the petrified that Mr. Fantastic places. So as APOC is trying to heal up from all the willpower that we're giving him, it's actually healing Scorpion up. Now, we also are getting power stings on ourselves, and I'm really not paying attention to them at all. They do very little damage, plus with the Petrify, you can see we are healing up to full almost immediately right afterwards. So with Power Snack, normally you'd want to be careful about dexing on this fight, but again, because of the taunt that Scorpion has on his special one, APOC is being extremely cooperative, tossing those specials right away, and like his power bar is never a concern in this fight, and this last special one ends up doing him in. Alright, next up is a Claire on Node 27. She's basically going to be unblockable for the entire fight. We're going to use the Shock pre-fight here. If Claire happens to switch modes into Poison mode and we are using the Poison Stings, our damage is completely hosed. So for safety, I'm deciding to use Shock here. In duels, I kind of had problems getting parried after her special one, and it does happen to me here. If you are too far away, or if you're just a hair too late on the decks, she will absolutely recover and parry you, just like she does here. So I do take a couple hits, that's unfortunate. So I'm trying to bait out this other special one here. I do the special intercept just to get additional stings on her. She still doesn't want to cooperate despite having that taunt on her. Luckily, she throws a heavy into thin air, and I am able to push her to the much easier to punish special 2. And then I land a nice intercept, and another combo finishes her off. So a couple hits there, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright, next up we have another absolute joke of a Spider-Ham fight with Agent Venom. Crumbling armor and a whole bunch of other nodes that really don't matter. We've shrugged off the heal block already. I think this is like a 13-second fight. One special one there, you can see 12,000 damage per second with just a couple of each type of debuff. And another special one absolutely smokes this guy. God, I love this team, you guys. Absolutely love it. Alright, this fight not as short as the last one. This is a RINTRAH on Node 39 with Ebb and Flow Intercept and Mighty Charge. Going to use the Poison pre-fight here with Scorpion because we really need that Rupture immunity. And again, the tactic with Scorpion, the neutralizes are really going to help keep RINTRAH's power gain under control when he does happen to neutralize our precision buff from Dex. Other than that, it's really a standard RINTRAH fight. You can see we're heavy countering his special ones a lot, just in order to keep his charges under control, and I'm doing my best to keep him as far away from his wall as I can. That's really like the danger zone here. I do some of the heavy charge special intercepts in this fight, you're going to see, just because I feel like I have good opportunities to do so. As far as like ebb and flow intercept, I think I've landed a couple intercepts in this fight, but you know, I think the power sting damage gets around the protection, so I'm not really too concerned with it. I'm more concerned with making sure that he doesn't go unstoppable and absolutely clobber me. So really keeping one eye on those charges at all times, and whenever they're above like 4 or 5, I'm doing my best to knock him down and take 5 off of him there. So right here, doing a nice heavy charge special intercept, getting a bunch of those torment debuffs on him. And again, you don't really need to do that, because with Mighty Charge, if he doesn't throw a special attack right away, he's just going to dash in and remove all of those debuffs anyway. So that's really what takes this fight so long, is that he's constantly shrugging off all of my sting debuffs, all of those torment debuffs with Mighty Charge. So we're taking a bit of chip damage here just from all the blocked hits that we're taking. Healing up a bit with crumbling armor, but all in all, you know, a lengthy fight, but Scorpion, you know, just so safe. Alright, up on Boss Island now, we've got 3 minis to deal with. The first one is this SERSI here with Safeguard. So a couple things here. I thought that the neutralizes and the Fate Seal from the special attacks was really going to keep her buffs under control, and with Safeguard I thought that her glancing would never trigger, because at worst I can only do 1% of her health with any single hit. However, what you're going to see happening is that she triggers glancing a bunch, which ends up triggering her regen, makes her fully unblockable, and to make matters worse, I foolishly continue to launch my special ones into her while she has the glancing buff up, and then that actually causes the attacker tactic to fail, which means I don't get the neutralizes, I don't get the Fate Seal up, so she keeps her regens, she keeps the true damage buff there, she keeps her glancing up, she keeps the flourishes. It's just a huge pain. So it takes me a couple of special ones to actually realize what's going on here, and then when I have a special attack ready, I finally remember to just start backing off, waiting for those regens to expire, waiting for that glancing buff to also expire, and then launch the special one. So in the meantime, when I don't have a special, I'm trying my best to remember to hit into her block so that I can remove those flourish buffs manually. That isn't affected by glancing at all. There we go there. So right here, I think she activates glancing, and now I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait for this to wear off. So thankfully, the Fate Seal finally does work that time. I think she still had the glancing buff up that time, so that was weird. It seems really inconsistent, I guess, is the takeaway here. So one more special intercept here, pushes over a bar of power, and then she kills herself with one last sting. Next up, we have a rank 5 Absorbing Man on node 53 with Stunning Reflection. Going to go in here with Scorpion, use the Poison pre-fight because Absorbing Man cannot become immune to it. So the Poison also is going to temporarily disable the Stunning Reflection node. I was aware of this before the fight, however, I really felt like I had so much to pay attention to already that it was just going to be a little bit simpler for me to ignore the fact that the node would be turning on and off and just play the fight completely stun immune here. Other than that, it's basically just, you know, a typical Absorbing Man fight. We're going to heavy counter all of the special ones. With Polka Dot Power, since we have a poison debuff up on it pretty much the entire fight, we're going to have a nice steady stream of power. I do the heavy charge with the special intercepts in this fight. You know, I talked in a previous video about not needing to be too fancy with Scorpion, but since this was a rank 5, I really did feel like I wanted to maximize Scorpion's damage output. So when the opportunities arose for doing the heavy charge, even if it was only a few torment debuffs, I really felt like it was worth it in this fight. Other than that, I also talked in a previous video about like overuse of the heavy attack to counter his special ones, since you can only turn off his form like every 20 seconds or so. I also kind of ignore that for the most part in this fight. And again, there's just so much to pay attention to, I feel like, especially on a mini-boss fight, that you really want to just play the fight as straight as you can, and heavy counting his special one is easy. If it turns off his form, that's great. If it doesn't turn off the form, at least you've added a few extra not sting debuffs, torment debuffs to him. And I think this last special one ends up killing him here. Yep, there we go. Not too bad there. Last fight of the war is a really quick one. This is an America Chavez on node 55. So originally I was going to wait for a House of X pre-fight here. You can see me healing up Scorpion for this. And then I noticed that there was like less than 30 seconds left on my attack boost. And so I make the decision, here, I'm checking the info here. I see 30 seconds. I'm like, oh crap. So I go in here. I'm like, well, you know what? Screw it. Let's just do it. Not wait for a pre-fight here. Gonna pop in an invulnerability boost just in case she nails me with some random heavy or SP2 or whatever. But you're gonna see this fight is over so quickly. It was just a waste of a boost here. So she starts off with the heavy, which is absolutely on brand for America Chavez. And then we get a couple of combos in, get a decent amount of sting debuffs and a special one here, right below 2 bars of power, and the taunt puts in a whole bunch of work here. We bait out 1 special one, 2 special ones, and then immediately push her back over bar power, and then there she goes. So we didn't lose any health in that fight. Speaking of not losing, we did not lose this war. A personal best, 9 kills for me, 0 deaths. In fact, our entire battle group came away with a donut, so shout out to everybody in BG3. Everybody did phenomenal this war. Our record is improved to 4-1. Yeah, overall very, very pleased with how I did this war, taking 9 fights, a third of them on Boss Island. Trying not to let anybody down, that's really what it comes down to. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If so, let me know by hitting that like button, and be sure to sub for more videos later. As always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.